At 6,100 meters above sea level, Alaska's Mount McKinley is the highest summit in North America. Climbers must prepare to face heavily glaciated terrain and extremes of temperature and weather.
It took me 2 to 3 years to plan for this.
Ryan Melcher, a 40-year-old web and graphic designer, took on the challenge to raise funds to end human trafficking.
These children are taken away from their homes and their families.
He became aware of this global problem a few years ago after watching Invisible Children, a documentary about child trafficking in Uganda.
They are forced to fight for a terrorist organization called the Lord's Resistance Army, or LRA. And they are sometimes held captive for years. They are tortured. Small girls are given as, quote, brides to more of the senior member of the LRA. And tomorrow, we are heading up there. That's the head wall.
Since then, Melcher has been raising money for organizations that fight human trafficking.
As of this morning, we're at $5,300, just over that, and I'm very excited about that. Our ultimate goal is $10,000.
Advocate Shamir McKenzie appreciates what Melcher is doing.
Government funding is available, but that is limited. So a lot of nonprofit organizations rely on private funders and private donors.
McKenzie knows what it's like to be a trafficking victim. 8 years ago, she was kidnapped and forced into prostitution by a man she thought was interested in dating her.
I'd like to bring to you a remarkable woman, Shamir McKenzie.
She now works with an anti-trafficking group called Shared Hope International.
Good evening, everyone.
The group's mission is to prevent sex trafficking and rescue those caught in its web, says spokeswoman Taryn Offenbacher.
The best estimate that we have is that 100,000 American children, U.S. citizens, are trafficked within the United States every year.
One of the most effective ways to raise awareness about trafficking, she says, is to turn victims into activists.
I didn't know about sex trafficking until I was in the middle of it.
Brianna appears in a documentary called Chosen. Like Shamir McKenzie, she was tricked by a man who made promises.
We were just flirting the whole time, and he was telling me how beautiful I am and making me feel good about myself.
So Brianna lied to her parents and moved to another city with him. But instead of going to a nursing school, she ended up dancing in a strip club, forced into prostitution. As a victim-turned-activist, Brianna says the driving force behind trafficking is demand. Stronger laws and enforcement will lead to fewer traffickers and fewer victims exploited and enslaved. For writer Faiza Elmasry, I'm Faith Lapidus, VOA News.